Dominika, a skilled dancer, shines at a well-known Russian theater. She wears a crown during shows and dances with great elegance. Her beauty and talent draw many wealthy admirers daily, but she focuses only on her dance. Her mother, who has a leg injury, depends on Dominika's success for free therapy and housing from the theater. One day, while performing, a disaster strikes. Her dance partner accidentally steps on her leg, breaking it. Dominika wakes in a hospital with metal pins in her leg after surgery. She knows her dancing days are over. 3 months later, Dominika leaves the hospital, able to walk but not like before. At home, she finds her uncle Ivan, a high-ranking official in a Russian agency who rarely visits due to his busy job. Over tea, Ivan offers to help her find work and hands her a file before leaving. In her room, Dominika opens it to find a voice recorder and photos. The recording reveals her dance partner and another dancer plotting. The other dancer, jealous, wanted Dominika's spot and convinced the partner to injure her leg on purpose. Furious, Dominika storms to the theater, finds them in a bathroom, and beat them with a stick. Scared she hurt them badly, she calls an ambulance and flees. At home, she finds her mother in pain on the floor. The theater stopped their support, so the nanny no longer comes. Desperate to survive, Dominika asks Ivan for help. Ivan, cunning and calculating, demands a favor first. He instructs her to go to a luxury hotel at 9 p.m. on Friday, bathe, wear a dress he provides, and sit prominently in the bar. Her task, attract a wealthy man named Dmitry, talk to him, follow him to his room, and swap his phone secretly. But things go wrong. Dmitry acts cruelly. Just as he becomes threatening, a man in a helmet appears, using a wire to choke Dmitry. Terrified, Dominika follows the man's orders. He shoots the door lock with a quiet gun and leads her to the hotel garage. After handling a bodyguard, he escapes with her on a motorcycle to a hidden room. There, the man removes his helmet, revealing his face. Ivan enters, his demeanor now cold and stern. He tells Dominika she's seen too much. Having witnessed the assassin's face, she faces two choices: train to become a Russian agent or lose her life now. Dominika chose to live and agreed to the training. Before leaving, she visited her mother to say goodbye. Her mother warned, "With Ivan, always keep yourself safe. Have an escape plan." A car picked Dominika up driving through snowy roads. She knew her life was changing forever. They arrived at a remote, cold place, Russia's secret training base, school number 4 in Siberia. A female trainer greeted her and handed her a rule book, a key rule: never share your real name or personal details. All trainees, young men and women from across Russia, were called Sparrow. They learned to spot and use people's weaknesses. The trainer called Dominika and a male trainee to the front of the class, ordering them to undress publicly. Shocked, Dominika hesitated, but the trainer said their bodies now served the state, and they must abandon pride. Alongside tough lessons, Dominika learned skills like shooting, lockpicking, and tracking. Ivan was right. She excelled naturally, but her success sparked jealousy. One day, while showering, a male trainee pinned her against the wall, trying to dominate her cruelly. Dominika fought back, hitting him with a metal tool, knocking him down. The school head summoned her but ignored the fight. The female trainer, however, wasn't finished. In the next class, she ordered Dominika and the male trainee forward again, telling Dominika to give him what he wanted. He told her to turn around, but Dominika, fearless, stripped and faced him boldly. Her confidence rattled him. He dressed and left, defeated. Dominika realized he craved control, not just her body. By standing firm, she stole his power. The school head saw this, recognizing her ability to read minds. That was her final test. She passed and graduated. Back in Russia, Ivan called Dominika to meet at a restaurant. He gave her her first mission. Months earlier, a CIA agent named Nash met an informant in a Russian park to trade secrets. A police patrol interrupted, detaining the informant. Nash fired shots into the air, distracting the police, letting the informant escape. Nash fled to the U.S. Embassy, then returned to America. Now, Russian intelligence learned Nash was in Budapest, Europe. Ivan needed to identify Nash's informant, so he sent Dominika to Budapest to get close to him. Though reluctant to spy, Dominika agreed after Ivan promised her freedom upon completing the mission. She had no choice. In Budapest, she stayed in a Russian security bureau building with Marta, an experienced spy. Marta warned her about the station chief, a sleazy man who preyed on young women. As expected, the chief's eyes gleamed when meeting Dominika, but she brushed off his advances. From mission files, Dominika learned Nash swam daily. She followed him at the pool, observing quietly. That night, she dyed her hair blonde. The next day, she joined the same pool, starting a membership form with a fake name. Then, defiantly, she tore it up and used her real name, revealing her identity. In a tight swimsuit, she walked past Nash to catch his eye. As she left, Nash stopped her, admitting he'd noticed her yesterday and her hair chain. He knew she was targeting him. Nervous, Dominika boarded a bus but smiled as it drove away. The next day, Nash didn't appear at the pool. When Dominika returned her locker key, her form was missing. Nash had taken it, investigated her, and learned she was a former dancer and the granddaughter of a Russian security deputy director. Suspecting her use of her real name was deliberate, Nash wondered if he could recruit her. At a fancy wine party, they met again, speaking openly about their role. Nash offered friendship, and they planned dinner for the next night. Back at her room, Dominika noticed noticed Marta was gone. Searching, she found a hidden envelope in the wall with photos of Marta and an American woman, plus a diary. It revealed the woman was a U.S. senator's chief of staff, and Marta planned to sell secrets in London for $250,000. Marta returned, and Dominika hid the diary. Marta handed her a report stating Dominika rejected the station chief's advances, angering him. He falsely reported her mission failure to superiors. Instead of dining with Nash, Dominika followed him to his apartment, learning his address. Later that night, she rang his doorbell, acting distressed to gain his trust. Dominika, with fake tears and a gentle voice, tried to seem weak to charm Nash, but Nash saw through her act. Calmly, he asked her to think about what she truly wanted. For the first time, Dominika felt defeat. She couldn't read or sway him. Out of options, she asked to meet again the next day. At the pool, Nash didn't appear. Desperate, she used her lockpicking skills to enter his apartment and search it. Finding nothing useful, she noticed 2 wine glasses from the previous night. She took the one with Nash's fingerprints and left. Back at her building, Ivan was waiting. The station chief had reported her lack of progress, and Ivan was ready to act. Panicked, Dominika lied, saying she and Marta were working on a deal with Americans, and she needed $250,000 to proceed. Ivan, sensing a big lead, let her go for now. As he left, he forgot his coat. Dominika offered to grab it, secretly memorizing his passport number. Turning around, she saw Marta holding a gun, having overheard everything. Furious, Marta demanded why Dominika was stealing her target after a year of work. Dominika calmly explained that Marta couldn't secure such a large payment from the Americans, but she could get it through Russian channels by pitching it as a key mission. Marta questioned why Dominika was risking so much. Dominika revealed her secret. She'd seen Ivan's assassin. If anyone knew, she'd be killed, and now Marta was at risk too. Later, Dominika bought a train ticket to Vienna. At a bank, she spotted a young, naive employee. When the bank closed, she rushed in, pretending to need an account. The employee, locking up, agreed to discuss it over coffee. Meanwhile, Marta, angry, told the station chief Dominika's secret, her weakness. That night, Dominika returned to the apartment. Marta was gone. The bathroom door was ajar. Inside, the assassin who killed Dmitri stood over Marta's dead body. He spared Dominika because she was Ivan's granddaughter, but warned that if anyone learned he killed Dmitri, she'd be next. After a police investigation found nothing, they released her. Outside the station, Nash waited to pick her up. Nash had intel confirming Dominika was a Russian-trained Sparrow. He confronted her, highlighting the harsh, cruel methods of Russian intelligence compared to the CIA. Hoping to win her over, he promised to protect her, as he had his previous informant. Touched by his honesty, Dominika, after a moment of doubt, agreed to defect to the CIA. Nash took her to a Budapest safe house where 2 senior CIA officers waited. For security, they hooked her to a lie detector, asking sharp questions to test her loyalty. But Dominika, a skilled spy, easily fooled the machine, rendering it useless. After the test, Dominika made bold demands. $30,000 monthly deposits to her Vienna account. The officers were stunned. She hadn't shared any solid intel yet. To prove her value, Dominika revealed a shocking secret. The U.S. Senate's chief of staff was planning to sell missile secrets. The room froze. Dominika wasn't just another spy. She held critical information. On the day of the deal, Dominika arrived at a London hotel. A bag with $250,000 from the Russian Security Bureau sat in the room, and a fake data disk from the CIA was hidden in a desk compartment. At the hotel bar, she waited for Stephanie Boucher, the chief of staff. Unexpectedly, Maxim, the local Russian station chief, appeared, claiming to ensure the deal went smoothly. Dominika suspected Ivan sent him to watch her. She sharply confronted Maxim, forcing him back to the room to keep him in check. Stephanie arrived, surprised to see Dominika instead of Marta, her expected contact. Wary, she started to leave, but Dominika, knowing Stephanie's dire need for money, calmly persuaded her to stay. In the room, Stephanie saw the cash and relaxed, handing over the real data disk. Dominika knelt by the desk to swap it with the fake one, but the task took too long, making Maxim suspicious. In the next room, a CIA agent monitoring the deal sensed trouble. To stall, she rang the doorbell, posing as hotel staff conducting a survey. Annoyed, Maxim answered, giving Dominika just enough time to complete the switch. Dominika gave Stephanie the cash bag, instructing her to leave the hotel in an hour. But Stephanie, greedy, fled almost immediately. Outside, lighting a cigarette, she noticed CIA agents tailing her. In a panic, she dumped the bag in a trash bin and tried to escape. A truck sped around a corner, hitting and killing her instantly. Russian agents outside the hotel saw it and reported to Maxim. Realizing the mission had gone wrong, Maxim ordered their driver to head to the airport, telling Dominika the Russian Security Bureau's director wanted to congratulate them in Moscow. He asked for her ticket and passport. Her instincts flared. This felt off, but she stayed calm and complied. Meanwhile, Nash recovered the swapped disc from the hotel. Learning of Stephanie's death, he knew Dominika was in danger. He raced to the airport, arriving as she lined up for boarding. Their eyes locked. Dominika subtly shook her head, warning him not to act. Nash stood frozen, knowing she was walking into a trap. In Moscow, Dominika was taken to the Russian Security Bureau's headquarters. A grim interrogator sat her down, asking if she leaked secrets to the Americans. Dominika, loyal despite the risk, stayed silent, even facing death. Frustrated, Ivan ordered torture. Stripped and thrown into a freezing cell, icy water poured over her. Hours later, shivering and soaked, she faced the same question again. Brutally beaten, her training and will kept her silent. The interrogators showed a video. Maxim, her London partner, executed. A pistol was cocked behind her. The question repeated. Still, she said nothing. The trigger clicked. Empty. Ivan entered, conflicted, staring at his battered niece. He demanded the truth. Dominika insisted she acted only to complete the mission, gaining the Americans' trust to uncover their informant. The true goal. As a sparrow, she did whatever it took, even enduring betrayal or pain. Ivan found no fault in her reasoning. His stern face softened, and he reluctantly released her for now. Later, reporting to the director and headmaster, both expressed deep doubts about her loyalty. The director and headmaster suspected Dominika was manipulating Ivan. Humiliated and pressured, Ivan swore that if she had betrayed them, he'd kill her himself. Back in Budapest, Dominika went to Nash. Knowing he'd never reveal the informant's name, she felt her life was on a timer. She demanded the $250,000 be sent to her Vienna account for protection. Nash, charmed and unable to resist, agreed. But the next morning, Dominika woke alone. In the kitchen, she found the assassin who killed Dmitri, strangling Nash with a wire. Acting fast, she pretended to side with the assassin, helping tie Nash's hand. The assassin eased the wire and pulled out a medical kit with skin grafting tools, planning to torture Nash for the informant's name. Dominika stood cold, even holding Nash down as the torture started, but her eyes betrayed her. Nash wasn't just a target. When the assassin handed her a tool, thinking she'd join in, she struck him, revealing her ruse to save Nash. The assassin woke, lunging with a knife. Dominika and Nash fought back. In the chaos, Dominika slashed his leg, cutting his tendons. He collapsed, and she finished him off. Dominika woke in a hospital, physically safe but in deeper trouble. The assassin's death proved her betrayal. The headmaster appeared by her bed. She braced for death, but he revealed a secret. He was the CIA's informant. Years ago, his wife died of cancer after Russia denied her U.S. treatment, turning him into a mole. Exhausted by fear, he saw Dominika as his successor. His offer: expose him to Russia to earn her freedom and take his role as the CIA's asset. It was risky, but her only shot. Dominika surrendered to Budapest police, admitting she killed the assassin. She requested to contact the Russian embassy and demanded to call the Russian Security Bureau's director directly. Dominika told the director she knew the mole's identity and offered it for her life. She named the traitor. Meanwhile, the headmaster, back home, left his door unlocked, sat on his couch, and awaited his fate. In Budapest, police escorted Dominika to the airport where CIA agents waited. Nash watched from afar, his eyes heavy with betrayal, believing she'd chosen Russia. A Russian helicopter landed, revealing a hooded figure, the alleged mole. Nash demanded, "Remove the hood." When it fell, Ivan's face appeared, not the headmaster's. Nash's heart sank. Dominika had outplayed everyone. The exchange proceeded. Dominika had framed Ivan. After her call, Russian authorities searched his home, finding a wine glass with his DNA, an unregistered Vienna account, and encrypted intel linked to Vienna, where the CIA had sent $250,000. The evidence was airtight. Ivan couldn't deny. Before being handed over, Ivan whispered something to Dominika, then walked toward the Americans with grim resolve. But Russia wouldn't let a traitor live. A hidden sniper shot Ivan dead. Cleared of suspicion, Dominika returned to Russia, not as a prisoner, but a hero. In the Russian Security Bureau's Grand Hall, applause surrounded her. The headmaster watched from the crowd, pleased. She'd followed his plan perfectly. Dominika took Ivan's role, becoming the new director of the Russian Security Bureau and the CIA's greatest asset. A double-layered sparrow, she balanced Russia and the U.S., not for loyalty, but survival. The game had just begun. Make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next video. Thanks for watching.